While 2020 did not have as many anime movies opening for obvious reasons, 2021 saw animation come roaring back with several movies being released on the big screen and on streaming services. I saw plenty of worthwhile ones, each with their own charms and thought-provoking themes and ideas, and I'm going to count down my favorites for you today, starting with Back to the Outback. An adventure through Australia with a fun group of animals, directors Claire Knight and Harry Cripps turned this into an engaging romp. There were plenty of solid laughs with a cocky koala stealing the show, and quite a bit of heart made its way into the proceedings as well. I like that the focus is on these dangerous animals that make up the Australian ecosystem, and how they cope with humans' perceptions of them. Yes, they are deadly creatures, but more because of the abilities given to them for their own protection, rather than because they're outright bad. I like that Back to the Outback explore that theme, and the humans that try to catch the animals have complexities of their own. I did not expect where they would take the Australian zookeeper and his son, but I thought it was a neat idea. Throw in the eye-catching character designs and environments, and Back to the Outback definitely makes for a nice viewing on Netflix. Paw Patrol The Movie. As someone who has never seen the hit television series, I had no idea how I would react to the movie. However, director Carl Brunker successfully made their big screen tale work for newcomers like myself, and I found it to be an engaging action film with a likable set of characters. The exploration of lasting trauma through the lead dog Chase was well done, and handled in a way that's respectful and elicits the proper sympathy. A fangirl Dashin named Liberty, who joins the Paw Patrol, proved to be a scene stealer, and the mayor becomes an easy villain to root against. The animation has a nice bounce to it, which is especially evident during the sequences where the patrol uses their vehicles and other gadgets to help save the day. Due to the target audience, we know they're going to turn out okay, but that does not stop certain moments from delivering the required excitement. I was pleased to have this be my introduction to the Paw Patrol franchise. Wish Dragon. A delightful take on the genie in a bottle concept, Chris Appelhans brought plenty of humor as well as heart to this tale. The best parts involve the magical wish-granting dragon and how he reacts to present-day life. His arc is more fleshed out and deeper than one would expect, and John Cho does a good job of portraying the complexities and emotional journey of the character. The love story at its center is nicely done, and the lead protagonist Din is able to be likable and sympathetic as he tries to reunite with an old friend. The environments are beautifully designed, and the animators especially bring a lot of energy to Din's suddenly acquired fighting moves and the various ways Long the Dragon contorts his body. Ultimately, Wish Dragon works as a funny and sweet modern fairy tale. Sing 2. In this second musical comedy featuring a whole cast of talented singing animals, Garth Jennings used the opportunity to not only mount some incredible song numbers, but tackle quite a few major themes. In this entry, Buster Moon appears to be a stand-in for Illumination head Chris Meledandri, as he copes with the way his shows are looked down upon by the upper crust and critical establishment. I really appreciated how the movie took aim at snobbery, bullies, and abuse within the entertainment industry. It even explored the effects of depression on a creative person. Sing 2 also serves as a celebration of all the hard work that goes into every production you see on stage or on screen. Much like the first movie, the sequel gives proper time and development to each of the characters, and their screen time is properly spread among them. The arcs they go through are well written, and it was also nice spending time with the likes of Ash the Porcupine, Johnny the Gorilla, and Rosita the Pig again. The musical numbers are brilliantly staged, accompanied by standout animation from the artist Illumination, a studio's films I always look forward to. Arlo the Alligator Boy. With this movie, Ryan Crego created a unique and highly creative adventure, heightened by its catchy songs and the awesome art style. Arlo is an immediately likable and sweet lead who you only want good things to happen to, as he goes on a journey to New York to find his father. Along the way, he meets a fun cast of characters trying to find their own place in the world. The friendship he strikes of a girl named Birdie is especially heartwarming, and of the rest of the group he joins, a tiger girl named Leah is my favorite. The songs by Crego and Alex Garingas all play pivotal roles in establishing the characters and what they're going through. The opening number, More, 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 is the standout for me, with Follow Me Home and Better Life not far behind. The character design showcases the incredible variety of styles being allowed in animated productions nowadays, and locations like Arlo's Swamp and New York City are stunningly drawn by the production team. While the purpose of Arlo the Alligator Boy was to introduce a television series that premiered later this year, it more than works as a touching standalone movie. Flee, a documentary centering on an Afghan refugee, Flee shows that animation is an art form that can bring so much to real-life stories. Director Jonas Poya Rasmussen knows when to use animation and combine it with archival footage to provide the needed context and give us an entryway into Amin's stories. Because the film is animated, it avoids the trap of becoming a standard talking head documentary. The animation also retains the realism and works in showing us everything he had to deal with when growing up in Afghanistan, how he became a refugee, and learning about his own sexuality. Rod Ebert described movies as empathy machines that allow you to understand a person with a life far different from your own. Flea is a good example of what Ebert was talking about. The movie tackles a number of heavy themes and does it with the proper space and respect for Amin and everything he's gone through. Vivo, a celebration of Cuban culture and music, Kirk D'Amico brought plenty of creative energy and humor to the story about a kinkajou who wants to fulfill his owner's wish. The movie goes down some emotional avenues that deliver in enhancing the characters and their motivations. While Vivo the kinkajou, delightfully voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, is the lead character, I most enjoy the presence of Gabby, the excitable child who partners with him. The film is already engaging early on, but the movie takes on a new level of enjoyment when she pops up, and I enjoyed her arc. There are some funny side characters, courtesy of some persistent Girl Scouts too. This was a year with no shortage of projects with Miranda's involvement, and his songs here are definitely examples of what makes him such an entertaining songwriter. My Own Drum was my favorite number in the film, and quite possibly my favorite movie song of the year. A lot of his Mirandaisms are definitely evident in his songwriting, but his love for Latin American music also comes through. Vivo is a strikingly animated musical adventure that succeeds in taking us on a fun journey through Cuba and Florida. Encanto, the other animated musical with Lin-Manuel Miranda songs this year, this was a beautiful movie with plenty of Disney magic, but also an example of how the studio is bringing more variety to the stories it's telling. The entire concept of this magical family, each with their own individual powers, is done with so much imagination. The lead protagonist Mirabel serves as a delightful lead, and the film does a lovely job of showing how she overcomes this problem. Stephanie Beatrice also delivers probably my favorite vocal performance of the year. Directors Byron Howard and Jared Bush made great use of this location, as Mirabel does not venture too far away from the house, and that's a clever way of telling the story. The musical numbers burst with color and take full advantage of what animation is capable of. Miranda's songs are catchy and serve the characters well, with my top 3 tunes being The Family Madrigal, Surface Pressure, and We Don't Talk About Bruno. Encanto is another example of the incredible winning streak Walt Disney Animation Studios is currently on, and let's just say it's not their only film on this list. Luca. Enrico Casarosa put a lot of his own personal influences and childhood memories into this movie, and I think that played a huge role in the film's laid-back charm. While there is a conflict involving these young sea monsters trying to keep their real identity a secret from the town, the film is otherwise mostly a casual summer escapade. The friendship that forms between Luca and Alberto is really well handled, whether it's how they bond or the things they find themselves disagreeing on. I love that the central motivation for the characters is just winning a Vespa, and that much of the film involves the protagonist exploring the town and making friends. It feels like the kind of story you might read in a strip like Peanuts or in Harvey Comics. The character designs also feel like they left out of a classic children's comic book, and their uniqueness plays a big role in the charm of the picture. Luca shows that a story having low stakes definitely is not a bad thing, and it's why we should not just pigeonhole Pixar as a studio that should only make grand or life-changing adventures. Sometimes a character's main goal is getting to ride a scooter, and that's great! Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm a sucker for fantastical world building, and this movie definitely delivered on that. Inspired by Southeast Asian culture, Raya works as an action-adventure that explores some deeper themes about trust between nations. Raya's arc is well written, as she deals with an evil that swept over her kingdom. Throughout the film, she meets all sorts of characters coping with their own tragedies, and each man brings something to the table. The character of Sisu the Dragon proves to be a scene stealer, with Awkwafina delivering a hilarious performance full of the required spark while also showing her own anxieties and concerns. Directors Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada balanced the comedic and dramatic tones exceptionally well, and handled the exposition needed to introduce the conflict to Kumantra with ease. The action scenes are brilliantly choreographed, and the filmmakers don't shy away from showing how brutal these sword fights get. I also appreciated the theme about the stupidity of neighboring nations fighting each other, and how their own hubris just ends up hurting everyone rather than helping themselves. Raya and the Last Dragon wound up being a fantasy epic with plenty of, well, epicness. And my number 1 favorite animated movie of 2021 is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Mike Rianda combines the road trip comedy with a story about the robot apocalypse and does it to brilliant effect. Both of these blend seamlessly together and work well in exploring the family dynamic at the heart of the film. Katie Mitchell is an incredibly endearing lead, although not without her flaws, and through her the film almost becomes a celebration of unfiltered creativity. It feels like Rianda reaching out to the audience and saying to go out there and make whatever you want as long as it brings you happiness. Her relationship with her father is well explored and developed, as both try to resolve the apparent end of the world, but wind up occasionally making things worse. The script, co-written by Rianda and Jeff Rowe, is chock full of hilarious jokes, while the emotional beats feel earned. Then there is the inspired animation, which is unlike most any other computer animated movie I've seen. Sony Pictures Animation has impressed me with the spark and inventiveness of their films from the beginning, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines ranks as my personal favorite production of theirs. It's definitely something I plan to watch multiple times in the future. As for what 2022 will bring in the animation realm, here's what we appear to have in store. As expected, we'll be seeing the return of several popular characters, including the Minions, the monsters of Hotel Transylvania, Buzz Lightyear, the prehistoric animals of Ice Age, Puss in Boots, and Spider-Man. Bob's Burgers will get the feature film treatment, Night at the Museum is being turned into an animated film on Disney+, and the DC superhero pets, including Crypto, will be headlining their own movie. Most exciting of all, Super Mario Bros. Will leap out of the video game consoles and into movie theaters, courtesy of the talented folks at Illumination. Among non-IP-based projects, Pixar's Turning Red will be about a Chinese-Canadian girl transforming into a red panda. Skydance Animation will be jumping into the game as part of a partnership with Apple on 2 films, Luck and Spellbound. DreamWorks will be telling the story of a group of bad guys, and Cartoon Saloon's next feature is based on My Father's Dragon. Meanwhile, Paramount Animation has Under the Boardwalk, a musical about New Jersey crabs, and Disney will take us on a Jules Verne-style adventure to a strange world. Finally, Netflix will continue to invest in more animated features, and a few of their possible films set for release in 2022 include Guillermo del Toro's long-awaited stop-motion adaptation of Pinocchio, Henry Selick's Wendell and Wild, and Chris Williams' The Sea Beast. 2021 was a fantastic year for animation, and I absolutely expect 2022 to follow suit. See you next time.